All right, guys, I got my notepad here. We're gonna go over exactly how much is into Blackjack, my 24 Roguelite Standard. I was actually gonna make this video outside with Blackjack next to the CVO ST, but we're having some major forest fires just probably about 8 miles away, and the air quality is horrible outside. Really smells bad outside. It's smoke everywhere, so I'm gonna have to stay in the garage for today. But anyway, 2024 CVO ST, 2024 Roguelite Standard. If you guys wanna know how much power these bikes put down, check out the previous video because I actually had my Standard, the CVO ST, and a 2023 CVO with the VVT at Mike's shop, Torque Custom Cycles, and he ran all three bikes on the dyno in every single mode: rain, road, sport, and custom, or rain, road, and sport, and the track setting on this bike. So check out those videos because this bike only put out 7 horsepower and 7 foot-pounds of torque less than this bike did. Mind you, yes, this is off the showroom floor stock, and this does have a stage 1 in it, but it's still unbelievable how the 117 with only a stage 1, which includes exhaust, Screaming Eagle wedge air cleaner, and the Screaming Eagle stage 1 tuner, that's all I did, only has 7 horsepower and 7 foot-pounds less than this did on the dyno at their highest setting. This one was in custom mode. This one was in the track mode. 7 horsepower, 7 foot-pounds difference. That's it. So that was pretty interesting. Check out that video. $46,000 price on this. I'm not sure if that's out the door. You could probably get it close to that out the door on the CVO ST, but this is around, let's say, $46,000. This is totally done up. Obviously, it's got the 121 high output, non-VVT motor, upgraded brakes, upgraded suspension, inverted forks. It already has a bar and riser setup, which is really comfortable. And it's obviously, it's a beautiful bike. It's got the exhaust. It does sound good. The Screaming Eagle titanium exhaust sounds great when you get on it. And it's a CVO, so it's gonna retain its value better. And you know, obviously it looks great. You got the great paint job. If you want to go that route, obviously that's the route to go. But a lot of people have been asking, okay, well, how much do I have in this bike, right? So most of this, pretty much everything is sponsored. But if you guys wanted to do a similar build like this is what it's going to cost you, right? So this bike right now, a standard Road Glide, they're going for about 28, right, at the dealerships. Again, excuse me, I'm giving roundabout numbers. So base price 28, we got a upgraded suspension front and back. So we have K-Tech +2 cartridges. We have black anodized fork tubes +2 on the front, and then on the back we have Hyper Pro +2 with a external reservoir setup on the back. That's also +2 rate, which means if some of you guys don't know, when I say +2, it's 2 inches taller in the front and in the back compared to stock height. So let's go over kind of step by step. This suspension on the CVO ST is fantastic. It's got the inverted fork. It has also, I think this is Showa shocks in the back, but it also has the reservoir canisters mounted up high. The suspension on the CVO ST is very plush. It works great. I have no complaints about it. It works awesome. How does my setup fare out compared to the CVO ST? Well, there is one big thing that this suspension has that is, I would say, way better than this one, is that it's +2. Because I'm 6'2" tall, when I sit on this bike, it just feels so much better. If you have never sat on a bike, if you're a taller, obviously if you're a shorter rider, you're not gonna want +2. If you're a taller rider, +2 is the way to go. It's hard to explain sitting on a bike that has a +2 suspension, how amazing the riding position is, and just that you're up a little taller, it's just fantastic. This suspension setup, I'm gonna tell you honestly, it's a little more sportier and it's a little more stiffer. It's not as plush as the CVO ST. So if you guys are wanting a more comfortable ride, then I wouldn't do something like this, because this is a more sporty setup. You can adjust it to where it's a little softer, but it's never going to be like the CVO suspension. The CVO suspension is really comfortable. This suspension is more stiff, more kind of for, I'm gonna say like a sport style riding. Also, obviously you got greater ground clearance, which is awesome. It's almost nearly impossible to scrape the floorboards on this thing. If you were to scrape the floorboards on this thing, being that it's +2, and with these floorboards that I have on the bike, you'll probably low side the bike or high side it, because you would have to be at an extreme lean angle in order to do that, because the bike's sitting up higher. So I would say the CVO ST suspension is better if you want comfort. It also handles amazingly. I would give my bike the win, I would say, for being that it's taller, that it's +2. Like if this was +2, the way it rides now, that would be phenomenal. So that's the difference. So the suspension is about, bike is $28,000, suspension is gonna run you about $4,000. Now, regardless, whether you go +2 or anything, if you even say, if you wanna do Legends, stock height cartridges in the front, and some remote reservoir shocks in the back at stock height, you're still looking at around $3,000, close to $4,000 with installation. So I just put ballpark number $4,000. We have the seat. We have a Saddleman step-up tuck and roll seat on my bike. Also, I have links for all the products that I'm using down below in the video description if you guys want to check it out and purchase something. But this seat is amazing. This seat is definitely more comfortable than the stock solo seat on the ST. The tuck and roll step up, I would have to say, is probably the most comfortable seat for me, my opinion, even more comfortable than the road sofa, because they do make, I believe they do make a road sofa now with the tuck and roll. That's probably awesome. I haven't sat on that, but it's something about the tuck and roll that just makes that seat so comfortable. So that's about $500. So as far as the bars go now, on the CVO ST, we got about, I think it's about a 6-inch rise with a high bend bar. Super, super comfy setup. On my bike, I have Thrashin mid-bend bar, all in chrome, 9.5-inch kickback riser. Very comfortable. I would say a win goes for this because it's a little taller and a little pulled back to me, and the reach is just fantastic. For my height, again, so you guys could kind of judge, I'm 6'2", so if you're around that height, the 9.5 with a mid-bend bar is absolutely perfect. And I should say the clamp positioning, it doesn't impede with your vision on the screen, so it's perfect. So bar and riser setup, about $1,500. And there's Cam starting up the dyno. Lights, custom dynamic front lights. I have the vent lights. I have the side windshield lights. On the back, I have the hinge lights, the bag lights. I have the filler panel lights, and I also have the curved license plate holder, all LED by Custom Dynamics. You could check out all the videos. I have all videos of when I installed these products, and you could go back and check them out. But as far as the lights go, $1,500. Now, like I mentioned before, this does have a stage 1. Stage 1 only includes the Screamin' Eagle tuner, stage 1 tuner, the Screamin' Eagle wedge air cleaner, and I have a mid-length Bassani 2-in-1 exhaust. Sounds amazing, looks amazing. I kept it mid-length. It ends kind of before like the axle nut, and I wanted that. The reason why I did that is because I wanted to see the beautiful wheel that we'll go over later. So stage 1, around $1,500. So wheels, I got the DNA Specialty chrome wheels, 21 in the front, 18 in the back. I have the DNA Specialty also chrome brake rotors front and back. You're talking probably about $2,000 there total with everything. I got Thrashing, all Thrashing foot controls, Thrashing Apex floorboards, Thrashing shifter linkage, inner linkage, inner shifter, outer shifter, P50 pegs, amazing. Love it, quality, everything's awesome. I also have like I think they're like 1-inch blocks that you get with the thrashing that also raise the floorboard, so they're super, super high. So that is, I'm gonna say around 2,000. And then I have some miscellaneous stuff like a Harley Davidson chrome belt cover down there. We just put on some switchback heated grips, which I still have to go to the dealer to get them turned on. And then I also have some switchback black mirrors, probably talking about $750 or so. So that's all I have done. Oh, and then a couple other miscellaneous items like docking hardware. I have also the Figurati Designs magnetic oil dipstick, which is awesome. A lot of metal shavings get collected onto that. And Figurati Designs, swing arm caps, custom swing arm caps, and docking hardware caps just to make the bike look a little nicer. We also put on some Harley Davidson front axle covers in chrome just to give it, give it that little more bling. But I think that's pretty much it that I did to the bike. Total number for all that, again, ballpark about 42,000. So there's, let me see. So there's 28 for the bike, 42. So you're talking about $14,000 within upgrades to do the bike. If you wanted to do the same thing that I have done to my bike, it's gonna cost you around $14,000. Maybe a tad bit more, because a lot of these components I put on myself. Yeah, basically, other than the suspension, I think I did everything else myself. I did the bars myself. I did, yeah, everything other than the suspension I did myself. So if you're mechanically inclined, you're not gonna have to pay for that labor. But if you're not and you send out your bike to get all the work done, it'll probably run you a couple grand more. Let's just go ballpark, 42 grand. And if the bike obviously costs 28,000, $14,000 in upgrades. I will tell you, I had both of these bikes side by side in my driveway, and I was looking at both of them. And I have to say, honestly, even though no matter what, you guys know I love the CVO ST. The thing is, obviously, if you have this bike, there's a high probability that someone is going to have exactly this same bike, right? Even though it's beautiful, it's gonna retain its value better. But somebody, if you're the type of person that wants something unique, this is the way to go. I was looking at both of them, and I'll be honest with you, I just love Blackjack. I really love how it came out. I like my previous bike, Mad Max, and I also love the bike before I had that one, which was Silverback. That bike was amazing, also with a custom paint job. But looking at both of these bikes, honestly, Blackjack does it for me because it's sitting up taller. It's got the chrome DNA wheels on it, 21 in the front, 18 in the back. The chrome rotors with the chrome thrashing floorboards and bars and risers. It just does a little bit more for me. And honestly, like the seating position, because I did everything to kind of fit me with the +2, the seat, the way the comfort of the bar and risers are for me, the foot controls and the floorboards. I just absolutely love the bike. And the way I look at it is, if you want something custom, if you want a bike that nobody else has, then do the build yourself. If you're the type of person that you have to swap out your bike every 2 to 3 years, do not do that. Do not put in $20,000, $30,000 worth of upgrades if you're just going to trade in for the next new bike in 2 years, because you will never get that money back, ever, ever. Even a dealer, if you trade your bike in, they go book value of the bike without any parts on it. They will never give you an extra dollar for any part you leave on the bike on trade-in. You may get a little tiny bit more, resell it to a private party. Well, you definitely will get a little more, but you will never get the value for what you put into the bike. So if you're the type of person you're going to keep your bike for a long time, 8 to 10 years, whatever, to get the value out of it, then definitely, if you put the upgrades in it, then it's worth it, because after a long run, then it just makes sense. But if you're the type of person that does not want to do any upgrades, that just wants to purchase a bike and it be fast, great braking, great handling, great looks and the CVO, this is the bike to get. I already said that this bike, in my opinion, is probably the best bike Harley Davidson, or one of the best bikes Harley Davidson has ever made. This bike rides insane. It just rides awesome. But again, I just love, like I said, doing a bike up yourself. There's just something about it that, you know, if you take the time, I would say definitely take your time. Don't rush to build. You know, put on a part here and there, wait a bit, see how it feels. You know, go to bike nights, go to Bikes and Breakfast and see what everybody else is doing. If you can sit on a bike, if you could ask somebody, hey, let me sit on your bike if it's a +2, you could kind of get the feeling. I actually let a gentleman sit on my bike. It was in Laconia because they did watch my videos, but he wanted to see how the +2 felt, and he was shocked. He loved it. So there's stuff like that. That's what I'm talking about. And also think about this. If you spent, say, another, I'm gonna say, because the exhaust is already on there, another like $2,500, and get a stage 2 on this once the tuning's available, it would have probably a close to 130 horsepower. Forget about it. It would eat this thing up. But obviously, I understand, you know, if you could do a stage 2 on this as well, and it would still be faster than this. But that's not what we're talking about. We're just trying to do a comparison, because at say 42, if I spend another 3,000 on a stage 2 on this, that still only brings me to 45, where this is 46. So you're still spending less on this, right? If you're going to keep it for a long time, me personally, I would probably go this route, only because it's going to be a one-off. It's going to be your creation. It's going to sound sick. It's going to be cammed. I mean, you're still spending probably about $1,000 less. And you don't have to do it exactly how I did it. You have literally from 28 to 46, you literally have $18,000. If you think about it this way, you have $18,000 of money to play with for upgrades for this bike. So it's like, you could do whatever you want. But now there's other people obviously that have, you know, Öhlins front entire suspension, which is like $7,000. You know, there's people out there that just have a lot of money. Like Mad Max, my last bike, had, I think it was about $40,000 or $50,000 of upgrades done to it, because it had the 128, it had carbon fiber wheels, it had the heavy duty clutch, it had the heavy duty it had a lot more. That bike was absolutely insane as well. So that's why I'm saying, like, you like, sky's the limit, what you could do to these bikes. So think about it, you know, take your time, whether you want to build your own bike or whether you want something ready. If you want to build it, go this route. If you want something absolutely insane and ready, CVO ST is your bike. But that's it. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think. And hopefully we could get a ride video in soon when this smoke settles down. See you guys later. Peace out.